We'll stand for a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion for the renewal and approval of today's agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Joan.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, approved. Consent items, those four. Is there a
Move.
motion? Lauren. Is there a
Second.
Second by Paul. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed. Items passed. Forum, we'll start with Joan.
Okay, so I've been on the road and stuff. After our last board meeting, I met with Colleen Hoffman, our auditor, for about 3 hours, going over some things, and I think she'll be coming to present the audit sometime here coming up in April. I know she had one worker go out on maternity leave, so she's kind of short right now. But I think one of the main things that we need to seriously look at is figuring out how we can close our books ourselves, because that just takes so much time for an auditor coming in, and I think it's going to get to the point of where no one's going to want to do our books because of the time that it involves. So I think that's definitely something we need to look at, trying to, do it ourselves. I had an AIS meeting, and Jake will be having one of the items that we spent a lot of time on later this morning. We, usually we try and have 3 inspectors during the summer at the different lakes and stuff, and we're fortunate that our lead inspector from last year is coming back again, so that'll help. She's already been trained and everything, and so definitely a asset. And last year our inspectors did 2,150 inspections throughout the county on the different lakes. So it just seems like if we're able to have those 3 inspectors, we're able to do a good number of inspections.
As inspecting boats coming off the lake.
Yep. And then I don't, then we also have the eyelids, but I don't know for sure, because then they're also reviewing those tapes, on there when they're not physically at the lakes too. And I don't know for sure what our views are on those, but they've also been a good deterrent with the AIS. Then I had a DAC meeting. Our director that we have, she's definitely one that thinks outside the box, and it's really kind of fun to hear some of the ideas that she comes up with, and finding out that our clients love to cook. Because there was even one day when I was in the grocery store in Boston, and one of our employees had some of the clients there, and they were picking up groceries that that they were going to make for lunch the next day. And I've been able to stop in there once in a while when they've been cooking and having lunch with them, but they want to find a date and then just cook specifically for the board members too. So and looking at bringing on new clients, and looking at possibly having to hire one new person. So and then I intercounty community council in Oakley, it was kind of a staff training, but it was a poverty simulation, and so they had some of the board members and other community people come in and help with it. And So, like for the board members and the volunteers that were there, our job was to be like different businesses in the community. Like someone had the school, there was social services, there was a mortgage company, um, we had a homeless shelter, a daycare, um, and then kind of a hospital was the main employer in this make believe town, and there was a police officer, and just all these pawn shop place where you could like a payday loan
Oh,
place. And then the staff were all assigned a person that they represented. I mean, it could be an older person, it could be a younger person, it could be a kid. Some of them had health issues, but then they were given instructions like they were, that like they might have a baby that they had to get to daycare and how they were going to pay for that. And they had to always have transportation passes to be able to talk to anyone because they had to have a way of getting there. And then just the time of to get their checks cashed and then to be able to go shopping to get their groceries and those type of things and get kids to school. And um, I thought it was very interesting where the staff in our county, they're kind of versed a little bit on what the services that their clients you know can go to, but how the staff was getting frustrated and not being able to do the things that they, you know, wanted or felt that they should be able to do. So it was, and I was in charge of the daycare, and I actually had one person that almost forgot about coming to pick up their kid. It just, so it was really an eye-opening experience. And then Monday night we had intercounty, our board meeting. And one thing I thought, we had just the normal grants and those type of things, but one thing I thought was interesting that Head Start is trying to do some recruitment to get, because they do have some open slots for kids. And so they had sent letters out to counties for their SNAP and MFIP clients eligible. And I thought that Pennington County, they had sent 215 letters, Red Lake was 70, but Polk was 1,709 letters that were sent out to
it's a
eligible
lot.
SNAP and MFIP. Yep.
A little bit of postage there.
Yeah, but I mean, I know, there's a difference in populations and stuff, but I mean, still.
It's hard to understand why the numbers are down with those large numbers.
Mm.
And that's been for about a year now.
Yeah. So, but that was just one thing that really kind of, stuck out to me. And then last Tuesday, I went to Monoman, and there was commissioners from Monoman, Clearwater, Becker, Norman, myself, and then there were a couple farmers. There were law enforcement, and then also had Rachel from East Polk Soil and Water District, and discussion in regards to, I mean, mainly it's Becker and Clearwater and Polk, or not Polk, Monoman with the White Earth tribe. There's the bill down at the state with the land back of almost 160,000 acres. And I mean, first off, the counties were very irritated because they weren't made aware of these bills until like the day or two before they were coming forth to committee. But they did rally, and a lot of the commissioners and different entities from the counties did go down and testify. So the White Earth one was currently tabled, but still is alive. But also discussion of how the tribe now has kind of taken jurisdiction over water permits. There's one farmer that has irrigation permits got it from the DNR, paid his $200 or whatever. And here then officials from the tribe showed up at his farm and told him he wasn't able to pump because he didn't have a permit from the tribe. And it was going to cost him $5,000 to get the permit from the tribe. And, if he decided to pump, it was going to be $2,000 a day fine. And they've also, Becker County had with, there was a farmer that wanted to build a new pig facility, and there were issues there. But, so they're wanting jurisdiction over all the reservation land, but also they want to extend their ability to control the permits of 5 miles outside the reservation, which now puts it into Polk County and now puts it into Norman County. So there's a lot of concern of what this looks like and how, that we can work together on these things. So, it's going to be, we're going to be continually meeting. And actually, Becker County did hire a lobbyist for, kind of with the tribal issues for this session. And I think both Monoman and Clearwater are looking at also joining them in hiring a lobbyist, but then to hire him, I mean, not just during the session, but, even when the session is not in, going on in St. Paul. So, and so now actually the tribe and Becker County are meeting. They've called a special meeting for Tuesday, next Tuesday morning. And then the group of us that met in Monoman then are planning on getting together again that afternoon. And, just
You'll be there, Joan?
that's my plan.
That would be great.
And especially now, like with Becker counties, and that was even like with Norman County with the dairy facility and stuff that, if they 5 miles into Polk County, I mean, our southern border, there's a lot of feedlots and, those type of things along there that could be affected going forth. So, and then I had Clearwater One Watershed One Plan, just kind of went over a lot of our financials and looking at projects that are shovel ready, going forward this year. And there was some funding where we had, like for all of our projects, would have been a little over $3 million. And we received about 1.2 million. So, having to kind of look at the funding for some of those projects and stuff and what other sources there are. And then I went to Nisswa for the AMC Leadership Conference. And it was mainly focused around Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. And it was a lot of new faces there this year, which I thought was, interesting. But I think it was one where we definitely moved around more than we usually do, which, was nice because, just getting to meet some of the newer commissioners and even just staff, because there was, I don't remember which county she was from, but she had just been hired as, I think it was their administrator, and she was there for 3 weeks, and she was already at the conference. So, it was, like I said, it was a lot of new people, but really good conversations. And we had, one of our exercises was to find all the things that we had in common at our table. And I thought it was interesting that our table, and then we were supposed to report on our most interesting or unique similar thing we had. and our table was actually that we had all whitewater rafted abroad. So I thought that was pretty pretty unusual. And then I had to step out of that for a little bit, and I've been appointed to the AMC Child Protection Work Group, which kind of stems from the Star Tribune articles. And we just kind of discussed some of the legislation that's happening this year, and just kind of trying to keep abreast of things that are going on. So there's a lot of things that like our AMC staff are trying to keep tabs on. So there's a lot of work to be done there. And I don't know if everybody noticed we got our new, this was one of the items that our finance committee had decided to do, was go from the newspaper to the magazine. And I think, I think it really looks nice. So, so that's it for me.
Mark?
Nothing on the meetings, but Sam, I received my tax statements and I had a phone call also. Apparently there's a duplicate set of tax statements been mailed out.
Not a duplicate set of tax statements. It's duplication of the ISD 2176 assessment.
Okay,
School district.
I didn't open up my second pack, but
Yeah, as soon as they went out, we got calls on it and it's being corrected.
okay, thank you.
Warren?
Not a whole lot. At MPO last Wednesday, seems like last year. Nothing there at all. In fact, it was our shortest meeting on record. We were down to 37 minutes, I think it was. It's the all-time shortest.
Progress?
Oh, yes, there was progress. And then they were supposed to have had the West Central Regional Water District meeting on Monday. That was called off because it was storming in Fargo. Meeting was in Halstead, but the Moorhead people couldn't probably get there or didn't want to get there. Polk County Township officers on Thursday, and Gary was the featured speaker there. So I'll let him speak on that one. I have Northwest Regional tonight, Area Transportation Partnership in McIntosh on Thursday, and then we're back in full swing after that. Corrections the following Monday and such, and a haircut on Wednesday. But that's enough out of me.
Full week. All.
Very little, except that I drove all the way to Halstead. So that's all I have.
Rescheduled.
Rescheduled for Monday.
All right.
No, 2 Mondays from now.
The 15th, yes. Still have the meeting on 29th as well?
I don't know if that's been determined yet.
Okay, I'm sure that'll be talked about on.
Yeah, my guess is that you won't have another meeting that soon. I think we're almost to the point of running out of need for meetings, but
On the 21st, I had a Zoom meeting with Laurel Library, and primarily, the audit took the first half of the meeting, and that came out fine. And then secondly, they had the architect that's working on the Moorhead Community Center / library. And that project has had to been cut back a little bit anyway. But they had a very good presentation, I guess, regarding what that's going to look like. Hopefully they can keep the funding, or have to go for an extension on their request. Time will tell on that. Township meeting last Wednesday, I believe, and again, a good crowd. Chuck was there, Richard Sanders, Warren, and myself. Mel, pronounce her last name, Melender.
Melander?
District 12 director gave a report. They're still having issues with their state organization. They reviewed some of the bylaws, and they're recommending a vote no on all of them. But not a lot of discussion on that at the meeting. But one of the things that I thought was very important, probably one of the most informational Township Association meetings, was regarding shared road agreements. And there are several of those, obviously, in our county, most of them not written oral. And that is great until it's not.
True.
And they've had some issues with that on other counties. So they had an attorney there that deals with that, Gray and Rupp Law, and he provided free information that night during the meeting, and for anyone who wanted to stay afterwards. But a lot of concerns regarding, when something's oral, people do or change, and then you're going to perhaps have some issues regarding maintenance, dust control, workman's compensation issues. It kind of goes on and disputes. So as long as everything's going fine, but until a major, and we all know how expensive it is to do any road construction, that's where the issues become. So he's at least recommending that some type of written agreement be established between the two townships. Seemed to make a lot of sense. And then, let's see, Wednesday, I'm on Carol Valley Talk. Other than that, that's all I have today. So we'll move on to, it looks like we have another issue to deal with Dave Sabril. Sabril, Intercounty Community Council Work Board Force.
I'll move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
In discussion?
Yeah, he didn't have anything. What are we doing?
The
Zavril.
Workforce Board is on the agenda.
Oh, okay, yep, the appointment, okay.
So do we have a motion and a second? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
As opposed, motion carries. 8:30, Karen Womack, so we've got a few minutes.
Let's see if I can get her down.
But it's, I mean, there's just no one, they just all of a sudden started to say that,
Yeah. I've seen him on TV about it too.
yeah, so, but yeah, it's just, after that 5 miles, I mean, that's.
Yeah, that's why I called you. He was trying to get me to get people over there. I'm like, this may not be, we're not on a level playing field.
No. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Karen.
a little left. Oh, the other way. Thank you.
That was right. This is left.
Is the camera left?
I think it's the microphone he's looking for.
Do you want me to go?
Running a little, but yeah, go ahead, Karen. Sorry.
All right, thank you. We had a resignation as an office support specialist in our East Grand Forks office, so I'm here this morning to request board approval to fill one office support specialist position and any internal subsequent position vacancies occurring because of this action.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
From Joan, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a good day.
That's all you got?
That's all I have.
All right, we'll move right on to Richard next.
Take it.
Good.
Good morning.
Morning.
So we, as a highway department, reviewed the dynamic infrastructure system probably about a month and a half ago. It's a new system that is coming out to counties and states to help with bridge inspections. And as you know, well, bridges can go down quickly, and sometimes for reasons that the visible eye doesn't see. And this AI system allows, well, you take a ton of pictures of your bridge, and then the AI system reviews all the pictures and gives you feedback based on what it's seeing. So it is a second set of eyes, is what I would say, and a way to have a system tell you if you're missing something. Not that we're missing anything. It's just
You don't know until you know.
don't know until you know. So there's 5 counties that want to try it. We've been working with State Aid Bridge on getting this set up if possible. The best thing to do is have one county run it. We've done this before with our weather system and other stuff like that. And so it's just easy for Polk County, being a bigger county than the others, to be the lead. What we would do is we'll sign the agreement with Dynamic Infrastructure and then bill the other counties for their portion. The state is kicking in at least $10,000 or around $10,000 to each county to help with this inspection service. And so for 3 years, we would pay 70 grand, we'd get reimbursed the 50 or the 40 from the other counties, plus another 10 from, or 5 from Clay and Cass, because they're doing more spans than Red Lake and Marshall. So I need approval for myself to enter an agreement with Dynamic Infrastructure for these 5 counties.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
The net cost then for Polk County is,
Ours would be 10,000 a year because we'd be getting 10,000 from the state. So it's going to cost us 30 grand total over 3 years,
gotcha.
which is pretty reasonable considering what the benefits are.
Is that the misprint then on that? The total agreement between the counties, is it 70,000?
70,000 per year.
Per
Yep,
year.
the state's kicking in the 50, so then there's 20 left. Polk's paying 10 per year because we're doing 70 spans. Clay's doing 5,000 a year because they're only doing 49, and Cass is doing 5,000 a year because they're only doing 34. And then Red Lake and Marshall, because they have such minimal amount of spans that they're inspecting, are basically getting the service free after the 10,000 from the state kicks in. So,
But, and I'm looking at Polk, 10,000 a year,
yep,
20,000 total.
correct.
It's
Oh,
com-
that's the
adding the state and the county
state
funding.
in there. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just looking at the numbers differently.
My Grand Rapids math says that's 20, but I don't know. It might be different.
Thank
This
you.
is the first time we've really been involved with Cass County on anything. That's,
Yeah.
it's not an adjoining county.
No, they were interested. We had other counties that were slightly interested, Monoman, Lacaparo. It's just in the end, they chose not to be part of the group. And so we were hoping to get 10 counties. We got 5. And so that's what we're going with.
So the picture side of it, is there one agency that does that, or is it?
No, we take our own. They'll tell us what the requirements of the pictures are, what to take pictures of, do the full scan of the bridge. We depending on which span we're on, we may use our drone, we may not. We may just get under there with a camera and start snapping pictures. But once we get through this and they start setting things up, they'll let us know exactly the process that we need to go through. And then once they have the pictures in hand, it's going to take them about 3 months to start analyzing and get the first data out. So really, we're probably not going to have, even starting in April, we probably won't have anything until June, July timeframe that we can actually look at. And then this October or September, October's bridge inspections will be the next go around. So, yep.
How many bridges are there in Polk County?
Well, so we got 461 that we inspect. I believe that's the exact number. 70 of them are the span bridges. The rest of them are culverts that are considered bridges in the state of Minnesota's eyes.
How many spans?
We got 70 span bridges.
Oh, yeah.
That includes both county and township. So the 461 is both because we inspect them all. The townships don't have the ability to inspect their own bridges. So, but yes.
We've done inspections in the past, and a lot of times that's been equipment with the arm that goes underneath and camera and
So
stuff.
so like on the now on the Thompson Bridge, the Fisher Bridge, and the Bernie R. Leader Bridge or the Gently Bridge, we have to hire MnDOT to do the inspections with their snooper
Okay.
truck.
Okay,
Otherwise, the rest of them we do ourselves. The Climax Bridge and the Neilsville Bridge, because they were fracture critical, the state had to do those as well. So now we're only down to one of those that they have to inspect since the other one's being replaced. So
another subject is what is the completion date of the new Climax Bridge? Is that this year?
2025.
Next year?
Yep.
Okay,
So that's what their project schedule shows. Not to say they can't get things done quicker, but they're based on their crew size and everything. That's what they're shooting for is end of a fall of 2025 completion. So do we want to?
Ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Drone survey.
Next, yeah. So with our drone, we're able to survey with it, and then we've used Pix4D in the past. That's typically what other consultants are using as well to analyze the survey, give you volumes and stuff like that. So a lot of times we go out and shoot our gravel stockpiles with the drone and then bring it in and analyze it. Well, our temporary license is run out, so we need to re-up and we can get a perpetual license forever, the way it looks, for $9,184. And so we're recommending that we get this license. It allows us the ability to use the software with our drone and cuts down on the remainder because there was other ones that were available, but they weren't that much cheaper. So this is our recommendation, the $9,184.
Is there a motion?
Is this the same drone that Jody?
Joe, so we bought the drone. We bought the first drone, and now he's selling that one
Right.
and purchasing
It's the
others.
same system.
Yes.
And it's the same.
So this is the system that we would use for our survey.
Sure.
Yeah. But yes,
So that's no reason why you shouldn't go for the indefinite license. We're always gonna have it.
Right. And we can always use it. Yep.
Okay. I make a motion.
Motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Warren. Further questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So, the state has grant funds available. The grant application process, came out probably about a month and a half ago. And, Garrett Barovich, as our county, surveyor, has been working on the grant application, and now it's time to submit it. And so we need a resolution 2024-19 approved to go in with the grant application. And basically, we're asking for enough money to finish the township of Columbia down by Langby. It may take us 48 years to do the entire county, but we're starting where we feel it's necessary to start.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Joan. Further questions? Is Mr. Vrachik going to be departing from Wichita, I understand?
Who? Garrett?
Yeah,
No, he's still working for
still
Wichita.
there.
He'll still be our county land surveyor. Correct.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.
The city of Foston is applying for a carbon reduction program grant through the state of Minnesota. Anyway, because they're a town of less than 5,000, the county has to be their sponsor, which allows me to work with the city of Foston to get their funding and make payments to the contractor if they're awarded funding. So we need approval of resolution 2024-20.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries.
imagine that subject will come up at the ATP meeting on Thursday.
I would imagine. I don't know if that money goes through the ATP.
Well, the carbon reduction programs do.
Okay, so then yes, you'll probably be hearing about it. So, anything else for me?
Township meetings, they talked about shared agreements.
Yes.
Any idea how many actually have?
Probably zero.
Zero. Okay, so appropriate timing and.
Well, and
Is that a,
so, I mean, the attorney didn't really get into it, but every township has a shared line with another township unless you're along the river, and then you got the state of North Dakota. There's a lot of bridges that are along a shared line, but when the state went through and gave ownership to the bridges, they did it in such a way that they gave it to one, not the other. So if it's on the line between Crookston and Gently, which there isn't one, they might have given it to Crookston because I think they went, if it's along your north line or your west line, it's yours. If it's along your east line or your south line, it's the others type thing. Same thing with section corners and everything else. Same type of thing. And so when we do our bridge inspections, we send all the inspection information to whoever's name is on that bridge. So
they certainly should know that.
yeah, and so it goes to the one, doesn't go to the other. So if there was an agreement between the two on how they were going to do this work, if needed, pay for the inspections, pay for the reconstruction or installation of a bridge along the line, it would make it a lot easier for my department. Because there has been the times where we've worked with Euclid Township and Tabor Township or whatever one's next to it, didn't agree with having to pay half the funding to replace that bridge, let's say. And so that became a little squibble, and then we get stuck in the middle, and so we have to figure out and help them work through that process. But really, anything along the line, as noted, should be paid 50-50, or by one or the other, depending on which 3 miles are yours or not. And so, yes, an agreement would be great if we had 58 township agreements for line roads. So,
It'll be interesting to see how the organization goes forward.
you know, the other thing, so we let a bridge over the railroad near Langby. The costs came in way high. So working with the railroad, working with the state, trying to determine what we can do, what we can't do as far as either funding it or the next step would be rejecting all bids and rebidding it again. Haven't got that finalized yet, but at your next board meeting, which would be April 16th, we should have an answer for that. I won't be here, but Darren will come up and give you the news one way or the other. It'll either be we got full funding from the state, or we're rejecting all bids and rebidding it. That's going to be the 2 options, basically, just so you know. So right now we're in limbo as far as the bridge replacement. I told Columbia Township that on Wednesday night, and so they understand. So, anything else for me?
Guess not. Thank you much.
Thank you very much.
Chuck,
You want to go down to my item since we have a few minutes?
we can do that.
Jump ahead. It's never too early to start thinking about the next budget. I know everybody gets very
Is that an
excited
April
about
Fool's
that.
joke? That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Oh, darn.
Well, there's a couple reasons. I'm a little, it's usually a meeting or two difference this time of year, but we have a lot of, we have all our personnel, all our union contracts to negotiate this year, which is going to be very time consuming. So I kind of wanted to do this ahead. I'm going to have a personnel meeting after the board meeting in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. What, today? No, it's not today.
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
be today.
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I'm not ready for it today. I think that's. I know everybody likes to do planning and everything like that, but that's there's a random nature to negotiations. But having a plan will help, and of course, it has a big impact on the budget.
Yeah.
So let me scroll down here, and I'll get the calendar that I drafted. It's just. You can see I was actually thinking in 2 or 3 weeks I would have this, but I decided, well, I better do it now. So in June, I'll start putting it on the agenda just for the board to talk about the key dates here on June 14th. That week, the finance department puts together the budget entry sheets, which are just everybody's budget in an Excel spreadsheet form. They get basically a month to work on that and get the initial budget back to finance to simply compile. So we have just a outline of what we're looking at. Generally, I'll share with the department heads any direction that I hear from the board. A lot of times I'm going on past experience, and of course, what I think is generally I take a view that at some point I'm proposing to you a budget for you to respond to, but frankly, we're basically working on the budget together all along. But it's a little bit of a dance because I see some things to deal with that you wouldn't, and likely some of it you might not even care about. But generally, we're trying to get to that targeted levy number and uh, deal with the things that we know we're going to have to deal with. So once those are back, it does take a few days for finance to kind of compile that. I have to remind everybody we've had some key transitions in that department, so I have to give Ron some time to adjust. We should have somebody in there fairly soon replacing Arla Meyer, who was done on Friday, and where this fits into that work, we'll see. It's it's just once a year, but it's kind of key to the timing. I usually sit down with each department, along with Rod. Late July, early August, we start going through what everybody's talking about. I do ask them to put everything I hate to say the word want, but all the things that they feel are needed in their budget or that we should be aware of that will be needed at some point. And then there's a lot of discussion about prioritizing what will change, what can be either put off, moved up, what's important relative to each other, so that the department head themselves feels ownership for where the budget is going. I will say that one thing I like about our department heads is that they do know how to stretch a dollar, and they will. They never actually stop with their budget. They will continually try to find lesser or less expensive ways of doing things so that they can actually go and try to do the next thing if it works. Finance committee has sat in on this now. Was it 2 years or 3 years? I can't remember, 1 or 2. So that's Joan and Gary. And since they're also the personnel committee, they'll probably get an idea of where things are headed. As we get into August, what we're really trying to do is get ready for the whole board to review. It's basically a repeat with the it's a repeat of these 2 meetings. Where's the that I have. We'll have things cleaned up a little bit, have a bigger picture for the board to keep in mind, but you'll hear from each department head. You've done that before. And what we're really trying to do here in late August and into September is get to that setting the preliminary levy.
Isn't that September 17th? That's an all-day meeting then too, right?
Both of these are
September 17, 18, right? Okay, good.
17.
I have written down.
Yeah, we'd like to hear both of these days.
Yep.
You'll have social services in the morning, but they will spend an hour to an hour and a half on their proposed budget, and then everybody else these next 2 days.
Okay.
Plus, there'll be time to discuss, the big picture issues, levy, fund balance use, where we're at with things. Probably keep in mind, this is going to be one of these kind of bellwethers for the whole budget. Is it's not until about this time that we get our health insurance renewals in, and that will create a lot of pressure for some decision making.
Sure.
So it's all right in this window of a couple of weeks. But I've been through this before, so a few of you and we'll manage it. The budget hearing date will be December 3rd. We have to set that when we set the preliminary levy. If you look at your calendars, AMC is the second week. AMC conference is the second week of December. So we do have a meeting on the first Tuesday of December. We haven't for a couple of years.
Quite a few
Yeah,
years.
it's usually been the first meeting of December has been the last Tuesday of November, is the way I like to put it. But it's more of a regular schedule compared to other years. So that last probably 6 weeks into mid-November, we're just grinding on getting the numbers to add up. There's that public hearing date on the 3rd. That is an evening, so your meeting will be in the afternoon. You got the conference next week. I moved the department head from Tuesday to Thursday so that they know what's going on. It gives me a chance to kind of preview the any final decisions that'll be coming with the budget. And then the board meeting on the 17th, and you generally don't have one after that third Tuesday of December with holidays and so forth.
I noticed you don't have our July 2nd meeting on here.
You are correct.
And August, first meeting in August ain't on there either.
Well, we'll still have those board meetings.
Yes, I know.
I can add them to the calendar.
I just pointing out.
Yeah. I also what I, what I really do is I just edit the prior year's calendar and those kind of quirky things happen. And then I know we kind of changed the calendar too of meetings, reducing it so you don't have 3 Tuesdays in a row.
You can go up just a little bit. No, October. Yeah, there you go. I'm going hunting. I want to make sure I'm here
Yeah,
or not here.
that happens every year too. You know, the one meeting that we would have gotten rid of in other months is the September 24th meeting. But since we need to set the preliminary levy,
Right.
we'll have it. I don't think we would be ready to do that on the 18th. So usually there's an awful lot to digest after 2 days and a week's thought and sitting on it, thinking about it
I think
helps.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And the
Boy. Okay, I'll clean that up too.
Just what he needs. 2 critics in a row.
Well, this is,
Well, good to get it right.
yep.
yeah.
You know, I can't tell you how many times I go through this to try to make sure I got it right, but it's a good thing I don't deal with a lot of numbers and calendars.
I hate to tell you, John's right.
Oh, she is. I can see it over there.
No, no.
I have it in my calendar that
Yeah.
way. So
I'll be one of the things
He's used to it from me.
Make the appropriate changes and email us.
Okay. Do you want to vote on it, or you with those changes, or do you want me to bring it
I
back?
think we can with the
we can,
changes.
yes.
Their motion to approve.
So moved.
Mhm.
And I
Second.
think we heard a second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, motion carried.
I'll clean it up here, and I think I know what has happened, and I was trying to avoid it. I end up with a calendar in my budget file and a calendar in my meeting file. They're not always this. Then I got to figure out which one is the
Right one.
I'm wondering if I got the wrong one for the packet.
You were right up until that one month,
Yeah, I know.
August
I
6th.
I
you
was
missed.
feeling pretty brilliant there for a while, but not anymore.
July.
What he's really telling us is this is the 8-year calendar going forward.
Pretty much the same. It doesn't really change a lot, but it gives us some structure.
But it does.
Yeah. All right. Anything else I can help you with? Or you can help me with?
Oh, you did pretty good, actually.
We have a public hearing at 9.
Go back up to wherever that is.
We try. Sometimes I feel we're a little more successful than other times. but
Yeah, have to have a plan.
It keeps me humble, so that's good.
Gosh.
All right.
Good stuff from John's question. What we do is put on when everybody else wants to.
Yeah, we're still
You can ask
still
Jake
on
here,
baby watch
maybe.
yet.
Jake would probably be able to explain.
Oh, that's right.
So
I
yesterday
know he
Keith
goes through
tried to
almost every just-
play a fast one on us because, well, Joseph's wife Kelly put together a baby bookie, so we all place bets on when we think the
Oh.
baby's gonna be born and that type of stuff. And Joseph had actually guessed yesterday and had commented on our family thread last night. He goes,
They're-
yeah, so I assume I didn't win, you know.
those fees
And then
are-
here Keith, he puts this picture of this newborn
Yeah, that's
baby
when
and then has a
Oh,
name and everything underneath it and stuff, you know, and we're all just like,
But it's like everybody else.
no, you know. But then he did it
So
to his family. Rebecca said he had his family going for a good half an hour that they actually believed that they'd had the baby.
correct?
A move to open at 9 o'clock.
Second.
All right. By Joan, seconded by Mr. Holy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is open.
Perfect. So, yep, basically we just opened the hearing, which is the public hearing for the housing incentive program and property tax abatements for the city of East Grand Forks. Every year they send us a list of properties enrolled in the program, and then you guys vote on if we're gonna participate.
This list in the agenda, is that first year? It's not, or
Yes.
second year?
This is the first year.
Only first year listed.
Any other questions for Annalee Jones, our Deputy Director of Property Records?
I would move to approve.
Oh,
Well, we have
we'd have to close the
We have to
hearing
close the
first.
hearing, go through that
All
process.
right. Well, Warren has no questions, I don't think. Anyone else?
I do kind of. That's okay. Is this a similar program to what Crookston was offering?
Yes,
It's the
yep,
same program
it is the same
for
program.
people that build.
Yep, but we have not received the list of parcels from the city of Crookston yet, so.
Thanks for the clarification.
The third name on that list is the city administrator, the new city administrator, Reed Hutton.
Oh,
How many years are
The
these
UMC
abatements?
graduate.
2.
2 years.
Hmm.
And then
So
they-
this list is entering the first year, they'll be on the second year next year. Um, I don't have the list in front, yes, I do.
And the terms and conditions of the abatement is on the city of East Grand Forks as far as them.
That's correct. Yeah, and there are 3 parcels that are currently in the second year of their refund that you guys would have voted on last year, so.
Was there only 3 last year?
According to the list that the city sent me.
Okay.
We'll go by that information.
Well, I imagine you have to apply for it.
Yes.
You don't just, it doesn't just happen.
If there are no further questions, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Move to close at
9:03.
9:03.
Second,
Second by Warren. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing is closed.
now I move to approve.
Warren, is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions?
And these are refunds,
Abatements, yeah.
abatements.
I think it's been a good program. It's been around for, I don't know, quite a few years now.
Yeah, and it's just like Crooks and East Grand that are participating now. Does
Yep.
Boston have any?
I have not received anything from Foston.
No further questions. We'll proceed with the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Resolution is carried.
Perfect, thank you. Sure.
Okay, it looks like we've got Jacob Snyder scheduled for 9:15, so he should be here relatively soon.
You want a break?
We'll take a 10-minute break. Back at 9:15.
We could process
Right, like,
certain ones.
yeah, like, let's take the easy ones and get it.
Okay, it looks like we're back and it looks like Jake is here.
Morning, everyone.
So we'll put him to work.
Okay, so I have 3 action items in front of the board today. 2 are solid waste related, and then 1 zoning related. First action item is resolutions. Basically, this is just a letter of support, a resolution to support our hub and spoke related grant proposals. So we have a number of different avenues. We've been seeking funding for this hub and spoke project for 9 counties to partner, really to tackle demolition, construction debris, and where the state's going with their rulemaking process, and we can kind of see the writing on the wall that we're going to need to do some different things. And so we do have in front of the legislators a bill proposal. We don't know where it's going to go. So this resolution is really to target some of those smaller projects that are components of that hub and spoke. It's really kind of a generic resolution so that others can also follow suit with applications to the state to kind of jumpstart some of these avenues to get some of this stuff rolling here. And so, yeah, I'm just looking for approval of the resolution. We can use this resolution then. It is one of the action items that we need in order to pursue these RFPs. So we need a resolution from the board that says, we've discussed, you're in support of us seeking grant funding for these proposals.
Move to approve.
Thanks, Joan. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other specific questions regarding the proposal? If not, then all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, landfill.
Okay, I'll do my best on this one. I'm not a landfill engineer, but the MSW landfill phase 15 needs to take place. Construction needs to take place this calendar year. In that, a big thing is the liner that needs to be put in underneath this. There's going to be other components to this. We're going to be seeking bids for that large scale landfill phase 15 project in this summer. The thing is that they need that liner, and this liner can really backlog our project and to get it. So what we have in front of you is we did solicit quotes. We're kind of unsuccessful in getting very competitive. I mean, it's a competitive number, but we didn't get a lot of quotes. So this is a good number. According to John, again, I'm not a landfill engineer and haven't been involved in a lot of the construction that these phases take, but this would ensure that we would have that product on hand. The contractor that would bid the project doesn't need to worry about seeking a quote for that. We already have it. So really gives us the ability to know we have it and not delay our project. So,
Proactive.
proactive as far as reactive and saying, well, we can't get that until the summer of 2025. So that would just, we need it. So it's something where phase 15 wouldn't happen in 2024 if they were unable to get it. So this particular motion would be to approve the purchase of that liner from AGRU America Inc., and that's out of Georgetown, South Carolina, for $90,252.87.
That just provides the liner. It doesn't, no construction involved with that.
No construction. That's the liner and freighting it to the landfill. So we have it on hand.
And I suppose you don't know if this was the same company we got our liner from last time.
I do not know that. No,
Do you know if it's the only bid we received?
it is the only bid we received.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Joan, is there a second?
I'll second.
Further questions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, and the last action item I have is a proposal from Union Lake Sarah Improvement District. This would be taking some emergency response funds that we've been setting aside since the inception of our program in 2014. Roughly, we've been putting away $5,000 in each budget since 2014 to create that balance of our emergency response fund. We have not utilized any of those funds since the program began. This would be a loan to Union Lake Sarah Improvement District. It would be so that they could pay off the total owed on an eco harvester, which is simply, I guess I'll just go to the picture of it, is a mechanical removal device that would remove weeds from the shallow bays of Union Lake. What we're targeting is Eurasian water milfoil and curly leaf pondweed. So the loan is really to jumpstart this program. There was an assessment that was done by or I should say, more of a tax that they put on for a period of 5 years. The improvement district is charging parcel owners of both Union and Lake Sarah an extra fee to basically make their program, their goal is to be self-sufficient in weed control and not always having to rely on the county to chip in the money that is needed for the spraying, the surveying. And then the thing is the sprayings we've done in prior years really was just the Band-Aid. You know, they want to get ahead of this. And so the only way to do that is to try other options. And this eco harvester really is just a mechanical removal. The company was based out of Wisconsin that they purchased this through, and a couple of the members had went and demoed the unit before they purchased it.
And this is a new one?
This is a brand new one. Yep, 2023 model. SM 301, whatever that means, but it is with the engine, all functional. You know, they don't need to buy pieces of this and that to go along with this. But currently, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, this special assessment was last year and this taxable year, or was it this taxable year is the first go around is 2024 where they're getting this special tax assessment. They don't have the funds there yet. You know, they would have to get the money through a conventional loan. So this is kind of to bridge the gap where they're not pulling it out of a conventional loan. They still will be seeking a conventional loan because we don't have the funding to pay off the unit in full. But all this money would then be paid back to our AIS program within the calendar year of 2024. So once the specials come in, there's 2 rounds of it, and then that would be paid off in December. I think the contract that I put together and pushed over to the attorney's office had that coming back December 16th for processing. We can get it back into our emergency response fund. it would close the project out in that calendar year, which is our goal for auditing purposes. Currently, I don't have a finalized contract. The attorney's office is reviewing it. I drafted that contract and met with Greg on last Wednesday, and
Okay.
so it's sitting on his desk right now. Action requested is a motion to recommend that Polk County AIS Task Force award emergency response funds to Union Lakes Air Improvement District in the form of that loan, a $40,000 loan with no interest to be paid back before the end of the calendar year 2024. And really it's for the mechanical weed removal of Eurasian water milfoil and curly leaf pondweed.
So move.
Second,
Second.
further questions? Who's the operator of the machine?
They will have either volunteers or they will be hiring people to.
They have two people that have some experience that they've sent to other places, according to what the meetings I went at. And then there'll be some of those, and then there'll be retraining. That's what they've said.
They'll need to hire some people
Because
to run
it's
the
got to
unit.
be. They're going to have it. They want to man it. How many hours a day for every day of the week?
Yeah, what just to, because of the acreage that they
It can
are allowed to do, I
do.
mean, and then their time frame
In which to do it.
because of the plant growth and stuff is very limited, so they're going to be running it a lot. And then, I mean, there's also then you have to have some type of like a trailer or something to load the weeds on, and then you have to have a location to more or less let it compost. Right?
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
so I mean, there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes and
There
stuff
has to
too.
be,
It's
They think they have a site. The DNR does need to approve their plan, their harvest plan. The one thing is the DNR's kind of gave them that's a good site. It's a mile and a half away. It's a gravel pit. It'd be a good spot. It's the likelihood of that transferring to a different water body is very slim because we're going a mile and a half down the road. But that is a fear. The more weeds we remove, they got to go somewhere, and we don't want them going a long distance and getting off in this wetland and this water body, a river. I mean, they have a lot of moving parts they still need to figure out. But that is a plan that they submit to the DNR for final approval of the acreage, which it allows them to do 50% of the littoral acres instead of spraying 15. And so we're trying to combat this where we're a partner with them, but we've been pushing them to they need to get a little bit more self-sufficient. They'll need to hire employees. They're going to need to have a program. And so that was really the point of that special assessment is our funds can't cover. Our inspectors are inspectors. They're not weed removal people. Right. They need to train up people to do that. We'll certainly assist them any way we can, but we can't be their financial crutch year after year after year. If this is their goal, is to really hit this pretty hard. And they got some good members on their board that seem to have an interest, because without somebody driving behind it, nobody's going to do it. So we're really a partner in this, and that's why we're kind of pushing this money, helping them out. We have the emergency response fund. It's in our program. Our program goals, it fits to a T. And we're going to get all that back in 2024. We still have an operating budget in our emergency response fund should we need. There's still going to be about $10,000, $5 in that emergency response, and then another $5 we were going to set aside into that. So if we needed something, we needed to do decon units or something, that we've really been kind of putting this money aside for. The worst case scenario is one of our lakes getting zebra mussels. We're going to have to do different things, and we're going to need money to do it.
Yeah.
But we still have our freeboard in there. We're not exhausting our entire emergency response fund.
Would not be wise.
Yeah, and they're not totally relying on the mechanical end of it, because that will allow them to do 175 acres, but then they can also do another 59 acres for spraying, which I mean, they're still going to be doing.
They're still going to do. They're going to do both. and they have to go in, and my understanding is they can spray one area and then they can harvest a different area.
Well, because they're two different weeds.
Right. Because they don't intermix, yes.
And you can't spray both the weeds in one year. They just don't. We will never have the funding to do
Well,
that.
it's
I mean,
it's the timing of it, and then
Yep.
the water temperature. I mean, there's so many
Variables.
variables that are included in trying to, like, when they do spray it, when it's most effective, and unfortunately, I mean, that's gotten to be more expensive after it has to be a licensed sprayer versus where they used to spray it themselves.
yeah, that number tripled or quadrupled
Mhm.
their
You need
operating costs.
people who know what they are doing.
Mhm.
And I think they're going about it right. The harvester will target those weeds in shallow water, 4 feet and under. It'll target that area, and then the spraying can go out a little bit further into those areas.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it allows them to try to control a lot more weeds on the lake, and then ultimately less weeds. We hope the potential for them to move to other lakes is reduced. So
It'll be interesting to see with their survey this year, how effective or not effective that the previous spraying has been.
I have a feeling that's going to take a year or 2 or 3 of evaluation to see if the improvement, or if it's a maintenance or if it's an improved. But
yeah,
Worth a try, huh?
it's an interesting dynamic going on in that lake. You have two species that are really out competing all natives, and one grows quick and it dies off in the summer months, and then the other one takes over. So it's like this yin yang going on, and it's just two weeds that are really dominating. And so the potential for it to go to another lake is pretty high. It really is. And um the good news of it is that Lake Sarah doesn't seem to have any of these
yeah, but
weeds.
No.
And so they're connected through a ditch system that sometimes backflows into Sarah, depending on the water levels in each one of those water bodies. And they're so close. We know people are going to Union, and if it's busy, they'll hop over to Sarah. That we know that traffic's there just from our inspectors, and they don't seem to have it. That's a good thing. We need to keep on that. The last 3 years, we've been really hitting Lake Sarah hard with our inspectors. Every weekend, we have an inspector sitting out there. Sometimes they get 3 boats a day. Sometimes they get 30 boats a day. So it really is something we've really tried to hit home with Lake Sarah. Is that it's so close. So
they're trying.
they are, and you need people to take it and run with it, and they seem to have a plan to do that. So we want to support them.
Do we have a motion
Mhm.
on the
Mhm.
floor? Is there
In a second.
any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you. I'll have lots of stuff on the docket coming up.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Our meeting didn't count on last Friday, so
all right. Sheriff Tadman.
Good
Jim,
morning.
I'm gonna.
Morning.
Right. The first item I have up is to enter into 2024 State of Minnesota Annual County Board Boat and Water Safety Grant Contract. And this is going to be from January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. And our contract amount that we're receiving from the state is $10,318. And this is used for some equipment, and then, but it's mostly used for overtime hours and for the deputies. And then 2,000 for other repairs and maintenance for the boats. So just looking for a motion to approve that 24 through June 30th, 25 boat and water.
I so move.
Motion, I will second.
Second.
All those in favor? Well, we better have some discussion here before we accept some money.
I don't have any questions about
All
accepting
right,
money.
well, let's proceed then. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
I
Uh,
Opposed, motion carries.
It's next time. Okay.
Item 2,
Item 2 is a resolution, of the Polk County Board of Commissioners, and this is for recognizing National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And this is going to be from April 14th through the 20th, 2024.
So moved.
Warren, a second from Joan, did I hear? Discussion?
good deal.
Yeah. This just gives our dispatch center telecommunicators, which it's through the whole nation, is just a thank you for what they do.
Deserve recognition.
Exactly.
We're back to pretty close to full staff there, are we not?
Getting close, but we're still doing the background.
Good.
Yeah,
It's a good place to be.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
I'm happier than heck.
All those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed, motion carries. Number 3.
Suppose I said 9:35.
Where's my baby?
You did. Well, Ashley did, but
Huh?
it's 9:35. It's supposed to be in here.
Yeah. I'll go look real quick, but I'm waiting for Jaren and Canine Jacks. They with his new bulletproof and staff protection vest that he received.
Beautiful. Look.
Okay.
We'll be proud of the dog.
He'd be the guy. Yeah. So Polk County Sheriff's Office Canine Jacks has received a donation of body armor. Polk County Sheriff's Office Canine Jacks has received a bullet and staff protective vest thanks to a charitable donation from nonprofit organization Vested Interest in Canines. Canine Jacks vest was sponsored by Joan and Mark Lee of McIntosh and embroidered with the sentiment "Born to Love, trained to serve, loyal always." So with the donation that we received from Joan and Mark and with the vested interest, our county was able to receive a vest that's at $1,800. So thank you, Joan. And
Yes.
that's her second vest she has purchased for our canines. So we just wanted, it's kind of worked around that he's on days. So I wanted to bring him in, show the vest, and then thank you, Joan, for doing that. So I appreciate it.
Well, they need to be protected too.
They do.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. Is that clock slow or are we ahead of time?
we're
But-
ahead.
Okay.
9:31.
Okay. Okay. I just have I have a pipeline
Do we have
meeting
something there
Time.
too?
at 10. So I'll be done.
All right.
Sign that top line. after
What's
that.
that for? Oh,
I
the
can go
grant.
to the grant. So,
We can even talk.
yeah, just let me know.
Yeah,
That'd be nice. Thank you.
you can call me because I'll be at home.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure on your hours, so I don't want to bother you on that.
Mhm. You,
You bet.
you,
No?
you
Or
can-
nothing else?
Yeah, do you need a copy?
Or adjourned?